Apple announces its new HomePod and makes us wonder if it's really reinventing home music. We get a couple of new iPads all focused on productivity, and along with these new iPads, we have a bevy of new software. I'm Jaime Rivera, and if that HomePod is actually more expensive than your standard 50-inch TV, you just watched an Apple event. This is Pocketnow Daily. Yes, disclaimer, the show is going to be everything about WWDC because it was the hottest news today, starting with the fact that even though we don't talk about Macs here, the new iMac Pros and the new iMac revamps that we just got today are kind of significant for two main particular reasons. Number one is the fact that we saw the HTC Vive make a big splash because these Macs are going to be Steam compatible, Steam capable, and we are going to get this whole VR experience. The second doesn't really have to do with the Mac, and mostly has to do with the fact that you can pretty much turn your iPhone or iPad into this augmented reality capturing product very soon with all the updates that are coming. There is ARKit, and obviously this just means that augmented reality is also going to make a big splash for iOS and macOS in the future. Now let's talk about the Apple Watch. watchOS 4 is kind of significant because it fixes a lot of things that I don't like about the Apple Watch. Starting with the fact that we've got new watch faces. I'm not even going to focus on the ones from Toy Story. That's fine. I care about the one that's focused on Siri because it's going to adapt it to everything that you do during the day, and it's got machine learning to adapt to whatever your day is going to look like. The second is the fact that there are some major changes to fitness, starting with the fact that now you can start a workout, add more workouts, and the whole user interface was revamped. I love everything that I saw with this, cannot wait to give it a try. Now let's talk about iOS 11, mainly because, well, the iPhone's got some improvements, like for example, support for H.265 video, a new control center, a new way to handle notifications, etc., etc. Those weren't really important. The one that was major was for the iPad, as the iPad finally gets some glory treatment. First of all, there is a new dock, there is a new way to multitask. The new control center actually allows for different panes, meaning you can have multitasking panes that are open. Specifically, there are drag and drop options. There is a new file system that I can't wait to give a try. All this focused in making the iPad more of a productivity tool. No, it doesn't run OS X or Mac OS yet, but it doesn't really matter. Apple wants to make this about iOS, and it's finally great to see that the iPad gets some glory. We'll see when we test it. And why is this new version of iOS so important? Mainly because one thing we did see today are new iPads, a new 12.9-inch model, a new 10.5-inch model, meaning that 9.7-inch iPad Pro that I love so much just became obsolete. That display resolution is now only available for the regular iPad. Now these new iPad Pro models bring faster processors, they bring a couple of new features that are mainly focused on just making the iPad better, but making it a better iPad pretty much. Like for example, the fact there's a high refresh rate on the display, the fact that this will allow the Apple Pencil to interact with the iPad better because again, this is an iPad Pro. And again, you have to remember, these are just iPads, but then again, we can't wait to see how iOS 11 will be better on these newer iPad models over time. And finally, the very interesting news today have to do with Apple's HomePod. The reason why is because if I had to sit here and tell you that this is going to reinvent music at home, I don't know if it will. Mainly, you have to remember, this doesn't really compete against the Amazon Echo or Google Home. It's really trying to compete against Sonos in providing this whole immersive music experience at home. It's supposed to reinvent music at home, is what Phil Schiller said. And I can't really say I like the design of the speaker, mainly because it looks like a trash can that's going to get dirty over time because of the mesh. You're gonna have to be dusting it off all the time, at least in my opinion. But yeah, this is also a Siri speaker. You can control HomeKit with it, you can give it commands, etc., etc. It's pretty much everything that was rumored, but again, the focus is more on music. You buy a couple of these, you could set them up, and that's all great. The big problem is once you start talking price tag, this thing is a crazy $349 at a time when you can ask questions to your phone, and that's going to be your Siri functionality, and when you can buy a regular speaker for $100 and get something that's close to it. Probably not in audio quality. That's something we will have to review, but it leads me to the question of the day. Are you willing to pay $349 for this speaker? In my case, no. Honestly, no. Probably if it was designed better, Probably if I tried it and proved it, but anyways, leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion. Friends, you know the way it goes. If you want to get the news earlier before the video is filmed, follow us on Pocketnow.com and hit that subscribe button down below for more videos like this one. You can also follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.